think I got all my ducks in a row. I think I got all my ducks in a row. You know what I mean? I think I got all my ducks in a row. We trying to get to it. We got it exclusive for you tonight. It's your boy Hezeleo. Hey all. I'm live on Trillgear.biz. I got me some Trill snack. I got me some peanuts. You know what I mean? And I got me some whole beverages. I don't know which one I'm gonna drink though. I don't know which one I'm gonna drink though. Y'all light up if y'all light up. Y'all crack one open if y'all cracking one open. All I know is we got a special guest. We got a special guest. And I got whole beer. I want to drink this one. Y'all tell me which one. Should I drink this one? Or should I drink this one? Should I drink this one? Or should I drink this one? We got three choices. We got Corona Familiar. I like that one. We got Modelo. I really wanted Modelo Negro. I really wanted Modelo Negro. But they didn't have no Modelo Negro. And then we got Dos Equis. Which one should we drink? I like my beer cold, so y'all gonna have to say something. But yeah, welcome back. We're gonna get it popping. Give my man some time. Give him some time. James will say, James, what you say? This one right here? That one right there? Or that Modelo? Or that Dos Equis? Which one? Which one we gonna do? Okay. Hey, yeah, welcome back to the Trillgear, man. Hey, your boy, Hezeleo, man. I've been ripping and rock. I've been ripping and rock. I've been ripping and running, handling Trill business. But look, we're gonna do something tonight. We got the Homie Big Jack coming through. You know what I mean? He gonna break down some Trill history. He gonna break down some Trill history. I'm hungry, but I already had my one meal. So I blew my one meal on some bullshit. But I was ripping and running. Tell you what I'm gonna do. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch no good mofo by his toe. If he holler, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny. Oh. Okay, we got a little old Dos Equis in there. We got this one. Yeah. And y'all know it ain't no food gazing. Cause look, you hear that? Ain't no water, ain't no food gazing. Hey, knowing me, I got a whole bag. I told my lady friend pick me up some drinks. She said, "What you want?" I heard just some of whatever you ever seen me drink. Whatever you seen me drink before, you give me some of that there. Yeah. So she picked up 4-5 different beers. Hey man, I see that beautiful soup off in here. You know what I mean? Texas Tight Stacks. Say we really appreciate that. That helped keep the wheels greased, you know what I mean, on the trail car. But yep, we got a special guest coming through. Hey, we got time. We got time to add your question. If you got a question, let me know now. Cause y'all, once you get out in here, we're gonna get it popping. But yeah, I feel like drinking cold beer. I feel like drinking me some cold beer because it's Friday. It's Friday. You know what I mean? I might as well get through. Hold on. I was about to hit that wrong. Let me get ready. I was about to hit it wrong. I like that. Yeah, that ain't gonna last. That ain't gonna last. What y'all up to, man? And we wait on my man to come through. Come on, holler at me one time. Tell me what y'all up to. There go the link right there. There go the link right there in the chat. Before the homie come through. There go the link right there. Let me see what's up with him. You know what I mean? Yeah. There go the link right there. Yeah. Boogie Mail. Hey, that's a new name right there. Boogie Mail. I ain't never seen that name before. Welcome to the Trillgear.biz. It's your boy. He's elite. It is what it is. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. It's gonna do what it's gonna do. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, yo. But look, let me send my partner. Let me send him the link so he know we all finished thing ready. We ready to get it popping. Let me send him the link. But yeah, man, we got a lot in store. We got some new Trill stores coming. We got new Trill stores coming from I think we're gonna load up on the homie Young Bleed. Yeah, I think we're gonna load up on the homie Young Bleed. You know what I mean? So yeah, we got more Trill stores coming from Young Bleed. We got more Trill stores coming from Ed on the boat. We got more Trill stores coming from Bobo. I even got some more from Pimp again. Yeah, I even got some more from Pimp again. And excuse me, we're hiring a different player. You know what I mean? So we're gonna keep this thing going. And gonna keep this thing really trill. I'm feeling good. It's Friday. I'm having me a good time. Yeah, by the time he get here, we're gonna have one gone. You know what I mean? By the time we get here, we're gonna have one gone. But yeah, I got a link right there if you want to come through and holler. We got a stream up tonight. We're expecting a guest. He's running a little late. But it's all good. Because the main thing is, we here. You know what I mean? That's the main thing. The main thing is, we here. And we got good soup off in this thing from Texas Tight Stacks. And we got, you know what I mean, peanuts and shit. And we got cold beer. So, we good. But anybody want to come through? We got the link right here. Let me hit the link for you one more time. If y'all want to come through one time right quick, there go the link right there. You know what I mean? There go the link right there. Let me see. He said that Dos Equis. He said that Dos Equis. He said that Dos Equis. There it is. Yeah. Boogie Mel said that Dos Equis. And boom, there it is. Almost gone. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That thing almost gone, man. That thing almost gone. And like I said before, Texas Tight Stacks. Appreciate that $4.99. That $4.99 sure will make a trill motherfucker feel good, man. I don't know. I just take one of these motherfuckers. I just take one of these motherfucking peanut. It must have been dead. That bitch ain't taste good at all. Yeah. The homie supposed to be coming through. The show must go on, you know what I mean? The show must go on. But the homie we're talking to tonight, he got somewhat of an untapped story. He appeared on down in Houston a little while back. But mostly he ain't there. Not much media, you know what I mean? Not much media or not much press. So we set it up tonight. But I don't know. And there go the link. If somebody want to come in and holler at a real player right quick, there go the link right there. Come on through. Cool with me if you cool with me. While we wait on the homie, I'm getting good and juiced up. In the meanwhile, while we wait on the homie, I'm getting good and juiced up. In the meanwhile, I had me a beautiful day today, man. I'm talking about a hustling, grinding, checking paper, man, and making boss moves, man. And now this is the thing that tripped me out. I don't know if y'all seen earlier. I saw this dude that I met back in the day, you know what I mean? I think we came through some kind of training together. I hadn't seen him in a long time. And I recognized him. And so when I got out my truck, to holler at him like, what's up? Nigga was tripping. Nigga was on some trip shit. I couldn't believe it. But like I say, when you get up in the morning, man, you got to get up feeling good. You got to get up sealed. You got to get up ready for the day. Because you never know what's going to come at you. And I think I diffused the situation pretty good. Because if he would have caught me wrong, if he would have caught me like mad or something, man, that shit wouldn't have went well. Man. But yeah, let me see what the homies say. Boom. What's going down, Heezy? Trill cast listeners, Trill gang family, RIP Pimp C and Mama West, and RIP to Pops, UGK for life. Hey, man, that's what it is, man. Appreciate you coming through. I'm waiting on the homie to come through. He a little late. He a little fashionable late. But guess what? We're going to keep moving. The homie Big Jack told me he was coming through today at 7:30. So we're going to see what it do. We're going to put this here back up there. Show y'all what that do. That's that soup chat. That show make a trill more folks feel good. Yeah. But look out. I couldn't believe that shit earlier, man. I couldn't believe that shit. Nigga was checking a nigga, man. The nigga was checking a nigga, man. But yeah, we got some more beautiful soup off in this here thing. We got some more beautiful soup right here. We're gonna put that up there like that there. That's that Willis Mayo with that big $5 soup. Show make a trio player feel good. Know what I'm talking about? We're gonna keep that up there like that there. But yeah, man, the homie lightweight wanted a little plex. The homie lightweight wanted a little plex. And like I'm saying, I'm glad I was in a good mood so I could handle that the right way. You know what I mean? Handle it the trio way. Come on, man. Homie is, let me see. Homie is late. Homie is late. Damn. Come on, man. Let me see. 7:48. 7:48. I can't count how many minutes that nigga late. We're gonna dot that nigga. You know what I mean? Now the thing about it is, hold up, man. It look like we got some good trio casting going on regardless, man. We got some good trio casting going on regardless, man. Hold on, we got that $5 soup from Willis Mayo sitting up there big, and then hold up, bam. Look what we got there. We got that there right there. We got Boogie Mayo come with a big $20 soup. Ain't playing no games, man. And we being patient, waiting on the homie because we want to get into it, man. We want to get into it. I'm gonna be patient. Day year. Okay, G. All right, G. What I'm finna do, Boogie Mayo. Hey, man, we appreciate that big $20 soup. That's the player right there. That's the player right there. I'm finna send you the link. And all you gotta do is hit the link. Let me see. There it is. Hit that there right there. Let me see. It's right there up under you. Hit that link right there. And then you own like Donkey Kong. Hey, but we appreciate that $20 soup from Boogie Mayo. We appreciate that $20 soup from Boogie Mayo. And then we got backed over with a $4.99 from Taylor Ray. That show make a trio mofo feel good, man. Hey, we got Big Jack in the building. Say, Jack, all you gotta do is hit that that link. Yeah, Taylor Ray, appreciate that. I got some young homies finna come through right quick to holler at my young homie right quick. Hey,
what's up, Easy?
Okay, yeah, you can hear me. Hold on, I seen Zay come through. Something happened to his device. Boom, 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 but they will boom, 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 boom. Yeah, hey, we finna get the homie off in here. When he come off in here, we gonna get it started, man. But yeah, hey, I appreciate the questions. I got your questions right here in my device, man. You know what I'm talking about?
Gotcha.
What you up to?
No, just taking care of some errands real quick, but I'm still tuning in.
You swinging and banging?
Nah, I ain't trying to get suspended, dog. I ain't trying to get suspended. I'm trying to get my credits.
You out there swinging and banging?
Nah, I ain't swinging and banging. I was earlier, but
Nah. You taking care of business. I respect that, man. I respect that. Stay on your grind, man. And if you got any other questions, let me know. I'll ask my man once he come off in here.
nah, that's pretty much everything I got. I'm pretty sure somebody else got a better question than I did.
Hey, man, I ain't give everybody that situation I gave you, man.
I don't know. You put it in the chat or something.
Fuck all no. Man, where your boy? Your boy ain't never came back through.
Who, Jimmy?
Oh, Jimmy from the UK.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Where you from?
I don't know.
I'm supposed to say he's from the UK. I let my kids see that shit. They tripped out. How that nigga say?
Lord knows.
Nigga say, yeah, I am your God. Nigga, get your bitch ass on. Hey, Jack, hit the Hit the link. Exactly. All he got to do is click the link, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, just click the link. It's gonna go to like a little thing that says like allow access to like the camera and all that. With
Yeah.
like a little testing screen, and that's it. Once you join, then it'll pop up.
That nigga must got an Android phone now. That bitch ass nigga Charleston White was shitting on niggas earlier, talking about some niggas who got iPhones and fags. That bitch ass
And no
nigga
matter
be
what kind of phone you got, as long as it works and gets you money, that's it.
that nigga be tripping. Let me see. That's Boogie Mail that gave. Yeah. Hey, appreciate that, Boogie. Hold on, I see Jack right there. Well, hey Zeus, we gonna get to this Jack going on, man. So hang in there, man. We finna pull Jack on in.
All right.
All right, appreciate you. Yeah. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
What up? What up? What up?
Man, everything good, man. I ain't gonna reprimand you for being late.
You can't,
You
man. I was
hear
out
me
there getting it, man. Seemed like you had some partners holding it down for me anyway.
Yeah, most definitely,
Yeah. I was
So,
trying to get on the spot, man. You know, we'll let you know where I'm at, man. I'm live from Rose Hill Park, man. I'm keeping it trill, you know what I'm saying?
hold on, Rose Hill Park.
Yeah, I'm on Rose Hill. You remember them days, man? Niggas out here, you know what I'm saying? We used to drive up out here in the dark. We had some hype or something, or we used to sit on Sundays, man. Monumental, man. Rose Hill.
Rose Hill, that down. Where is that at?
You know what I'm saying?
Where is Rose Hill?
On Proctor, man. No 40s, though.
In what
Rose
city?
Hill, man. Port Arthur, Texas, man. Right next
No,
to
I'm
the
talking
Seawall.
about. No, I'm talking about. Well, go
You know
ahead
saying?
and
Keeping it
introduce
chill,
yourself,
man.
man.
Man,
Go
this
ahead
is
and
Big
introduce
Jack right
yourself.
here, man. Big Jack right here, a.k.a. Jelon Jackson, a.k.a. Serious Jackson, man. You know, a.k.a. Pastor Jack now, man. You know how it's doing, man. Peace and blessings to everybody. I'm just out here in PA for a minute. In and out, man. Enjoying the nice scenery, nice weather before it get dark.
You said
You know
Pastor Jack.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, we're gonna get off into that. Well, if you ready, man, I'm finna let it rip. I got some questions here that I laid there, you understand, and put down. And
Let's do it.
okay. I want you to forgive me, Jack, because I was feeling like give me some libation. You know,
Oh man, we out the way with that, man.
they say what goes into a man, correct me if I'm wrong. How it go?
Yeah, ain't nothing going into me. Ain't nothing going into me, man. Exit
Hey,
on.
Rev, go and put me on game. How it go? What goes into a man?
Ain't nothing going into this, man.
Well, you couldn't stay me on that one. It don't. Well, somebody know the scripture. I done laid there and got drunk. Oh, now, okay, let's get to the first question, man. Yeah, let's get to it. Okay, we got Big Jack up in the building. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
AKA Serious Jackson, one of BM, one of UGK, and just hey man, all kind of different ventures and whatnot. So I'm gonna go and shoot off my first question, man. So you did grow up in like Port Arthur, right?
Yes, sir. Born and raised, man. Well, I was born in Houston, but I came back. My mama sent me back. We came out here, PA, man. Land of the trail, man. Grew up product of Port Arthur.
Okay. So as you remember growing up, as you
Power on.
shut up, excuse me. As you remember growing up, would you say you were poor and broke when you grew up?
No, we was making it. My grandmother, she had, she worked. She had a home office. She did. We wasn't rich, but we made do. You know what I'm saying? We made something out of that. She shopped at garage sales. We did. We did what we could. Not necessarily fake it like you make it, but make something out of nothing.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. I'm sure. My next question would be, when did you first get off into music?
Oh man, we was. I can go back to first like, I grew up in a Christian environment. My grandmother was Southern Baptist, and we would go to different they had things called quartets. Those gospel groups of 4 men, 3 or 4 men, little small band, and we would go. They call them singings. We'd go the different little, gospel concerts on Sundays, Shirley Caesar and all that. Then we would go home after that and grab pots and pans and, play drums and, make beats. I was a beat machine. Nigga, I liked the drums, you know what I'm saying? But I never did take any music classes or anything. But yeah, we used to beat on pots and pans, man. But, I guess maybe around 85, 86, I ended up getting access to like the little samplers with the drum pads on them, and I was always enthused with those drum pads, like those beat machines and those drum pads. And I had maybe like the Sensonic drums. I don't even know if you remember. It was a little square flat pad, and it had 3 little circles on it.
I remember.
Yeah, that was my first one, and after that, I just caught a love for beat machine. I still currently keep me a sampler or a beat machine at home to this day. So yeah, it was the drum pad thing and the beat machine, but it went back. It went back from all the way to pots and pans though. Beating the drums on pots and pans.
So you was poor and broke.
Yeah. Couldn't get it. Well, we didn't want drum sets, so we couldn't get drum sets because we grew up kind of like, hey, go get your refinery job and go hustle. It wasn't no college. It wasn't no being no entertainers. Because I know my grandmother would always say, well, we ain't gonna be no superstars. We ain't gonna be rich or nothing like that. So you get you a job and you work hard and die, like most people do. But I wanted more of that in life.
Damn. Okay, so when did you first meet? And I want to group all these guys together. When did you first meet Pimp, Bun, and Mitchell Queen? And who did you meet first?
Okay, I met Pimp first. I met Chad first, man. I went to I was kind of ill when I was younger. I got sick, and I was in the hospital for a minute, and I ended up being kept back in the 8th grade. And it was it was Edison and Woodrow. And I went to Woodrow 6th, 7th, and 8th grade already. So Edison 6th, 7th, and 8th grade already. So I didn't necessarily want to go back to the same school. So I ended up going to Woodrow. And that's why I met Chad.
You was at Edison Middle School. What year? 6th and what?
6th, 7th, and 8th. And then when I had to repeat that 8th grade, they call it flunked. When I flunked the 8th grade, I went to Woodrow.
So Chad was at Woodrow.
Right.
So how would you compare Edison to Woodrow? That's a question for me. Man,
Edison was crazy because they thought that was the more lighter school, but they was having drug busts and everything to Edison. Like, it was crazy. But when it came to like, trying to be gangster and fighting and all that, they would say Woodrow was the one, with the tough guys. But we were more like, it was a lot of drugs and, I wasn't into it. I didn't do it. It was before my time or whatever. But yeah, I heard there was a lot of weed going on, a lot of, because even my buddies that I grew up with that went to Woodrow, that I came back to TJ with, they said that they were smoking weed and doing all that and selling weed and all that back then in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, but I didn't know anything about it.
So you met Pimp first at Woodrow.
Edison, if you really put it in a nutshell, I think Edison was the worst school, the worst school of the two.
So you met Pimp first.
There was more bullies. There was more bullies at Woodrow.
There were more bullies at Woodrow?
Yeah.
Yeah. Them Woodrow niggas were tripping. I remember them Woodrow niggas started coming to kick our ass.
Right.
We're gonna do that on another show. When
I got to Woodrow, they didn't really bully me because I was with this cat named Terry Miller. He was like the head bully.
Oh, T Mill?
Everywhere he go. Yeah, I went. I got a pass through Terry Miller when I went to Woodrow because he went to Woodrow too.
Let me ask you this. So Lee and Terry Miller and y'all was once at Edison.
Yeah, Lee. I don't ever remember Lee at Woodrow. I think he went to Edison and Lincoln because Lee stayed in the in like the Edison Edison territory right there because it was Lee. Lee stayed right next to Robbie Johnson, right, but like right next to John Seafood and Billups, like shortstop. They call it charter, but we call it Billups.
He got kicked out of Woodrow.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know the story too much about Lee. I didn't know too much. I didn't really hang out with Lee Master until like after high school.
Okay, so You met Pimp first, and then how did you wind up leading up meeting Bun and Mitch?
Well, actually, and then in all actuality, I didn't. Well, I used to see Bun at Edison, but we really weren't like homeboys. We had like I always been into the tennis shoe game. I kind of retired from it, but we all were like in the tennis shoe game, and they were like, we wear K-Swiss, we wear Jordans. I was actually the one that broke into the Jordan thing. But there was gangster Nikes, there was a Capers, there was Foot Joy, there was British Knights and all that. So me and Bun would see each other down the hallway. And he's like, "Oh man, you got them British Knights, okay?" You know what I'm saying? But I never knew him. He came with the Foot Joy, and then I had the ones.
And that was at middle school. That was at what school?
That was at Edison, but we never knew each other. I never did know him because he was a year older.
He was at Edison with us?
Yeah, he was at Edison with us.
Man, I don't even remember that.
Yeah, he was at Edison with us. That's why Bud never went to Woodrow.
Come on, man.
I don't think. Or was he in Summit? I'm not sure because he's really, really smart. But I think he might have was in Summit. And like I would just see him because like the Edison kids would ride the bus back, the ones that went to Summit. But I would just see him. I never had a class with him, but I would just see him at Edison, and he would we would just like exchange like props for shoes. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, you got them black gangster Nikes. Okay, all right. Yeah, I see you. And then, keep it moving.
Okay, so you met Pimp at Woodrow.
Yeah, man, we developed a relationship, like, because we were both, he was more of a quiet guy, almost, I hate to say this, he was kind of like an oddity, nobody paid attention to him. So he was sitting in the back and wouldn't say anything, but he was actually back there listening to music. He had his Walkman, he had the earpiece, stuck in his jacket. Yeah. So he was back there. I didn't know what he was doing. I was like, man, what's this cat always sitting down there with his head down? And I was the type of person, I'm still like that too. I see an oddity dude, or I see a person that's, just not paying, people not paying attention to it. I'm gonna go see what's going on with him. Yeah. I'm gonna show love to, everybody. So I'm like, man, why they not messing with this cat? And, why did this and that? So he look up one day and, we get to, chopping it up or whatever. And then, I think I told that story in Donnie Houston. We both, it was a show and tell, and we both bought boom boxes because that was the boom box area. But his had a keyboard on top of it. But I bought a boom box, and he was like, "Man, what you know about that? What he was always, he had like the cocky, type vibe all the time. So he's like, he looked up, made that face, squinched his eye. You know how he do, nigga. What you doing with that? I was like, it's my boom box. I said, I break dance because we break dance. I don't know about you, but cats break dance before.
What year? About what year was that?
This was 87.
Okay.
But we break danced 84, 85. We break danced when break dancing came out. So
already.
Yeah, we ended up kind of like, I was like, nigga, I break dance. I kind of rap a little bit too. And I made beats, but he was like, well, nigga, that's what I do, and I'm gonna be rich and famous. You know what I'm saying? And he had some ballets on.
Yeah, ballets on in the 8th grade. Yeah.
He had some ballets on, bro. And I was like, man, what that is? That was like Slick Rick. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that, New York, like that, like Gucci and stuff. And I think he might have had one of them. You remember when cats' uncles used to go to the service and they would bring back them Gucci warm-ups and them you remember them? Do you remember them?
The Gucci like, warm-up.
Yeah, Gucci, like it used to be Gucci, MCM. It was like them Eric B and Rakim.
Yeah, the MCM joints. Yeah.
Okay. They did, like some cats, uncles used to go to the service and they'll come back. A couple of the fly cats, like Kelvin Valley, your boy. I think he would have had something like that on, something like that. Okay. But that was kind of, he would have that type of stuff on. When
did you meet Big Smoke and Mitch?
I met Mitch through it was him, Boomtown, and because that's after the story that what me and Chad had went through, to the point where like he would say, Chad was the whole thing. He was like, yeah, I make beats and I rap and I'm gonna be a rapper, but I want to get down with these cats. This cat named Dory Dorsey. He older than us, but he the man, Dory Dorsey. Because at first, Dory Dorsey, Booney Low, shout out to my big homie Booney Low, the OG. They were the men. That was the man, like Booney Low. And that was the serious rappers. Lee Master. You know what I'm saying? Those are serious rappers. Those the niggas that was actually up in the game. But
Dory Dorsey,
you know, Dorsey
DMD.
Dorsey had DMD had they had a group called DMI. You know, and it was Mitch, and I think it was Dory, and you know, it was some older cats, you know, but Dory, his groups, he had a couple groups, you know, Robert Minix, you know, Herbert Keller, you know what I'm saying,
R.I.P.
rest in
Herb.
peace. You know what I'm saying? They had groups. And Chad was just trying to get down. Pimp was trying to get down. He's like, man, I want to get down with these OG cats. You know what I'm saying? So he ended up getting it in DMI. And that's, you know, they you know, the thing happened with the Mission Impossible, but I didn't know too much about that because, like I said, I was a dude, you know, music was a hobby. Football was a hobby. You know, anything that was just flattered, I would jump in, but I never would really I never would apply myself. You know, actually, it would just be something that I'd just be doing to pass time or something I would be doing just to fit in.
Okay. So when did y'all start like the music venture with the what was the first group y'all started, and then how did y'all get to the 4
Well,
BM?
me and Chad used to this was the 8th, 9th grade. We would just go to his house on Saturdays and I'd make a song and he'd make a song. You know, I'd make a song, he'd make a song. You know, because we was just personal rappers, and he was like, I ended up getting in this group, man. So we ended up getting that group. That was like the 8th or 9th grade, and then the 10th grade came. And
What was the name of that group?
what was that? Which group?
You said the group he said he got into. What was the name of that group?
Oh, that was the group with you know, the DMI. That was Dory.
Okay, so he got in
Those were the
DMI.
only group he was in, and then he kind of backed it, and then him and Mitch start actually doing. I think him and Mitch made a group. Yeah, him and Mitch was a group.
What was
And
that called?
That's when that was the Mission Impossible.
Okay, so him and Mitch became Mission Impossible.
Right, but I didn't know they was really a group. He was just kind of we was just like doing songs. Everybody was just doing songs.
Okay.
That was just the whole thing. Basically, everybody was just doing songs. And then you know, the 10th grade came, and I think it was you know, I would see Bunny at TJ or whatever, and you know, Chad, you know, like, you know how he talk. Me say, man, you know this nigga named Bernard Freeman? And I was like, yeah, man, yeah. And then I think he was in something. So I think it was like I was like, yeah, I know him. It was one of them smart niggas, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. You know, I don't really know him like that, but I know of him.
Yeah.
And so he was like, man, we're gonna go meet him, see what's up, because he talking about rapping. So we went to Central Mall and we met him. And at that time, like it was just me, Mitch, and Chad, but we didn't have any group. And I was just kind of like doing a hobby thing, but he was like, well, look, man, since you go to TJ, you know what I'm saying, me and Mitch go to Lincoln, why don't y'all rap in a group? And then me and Mitch rap in a group. So I was like, okay, I ain't got a problem with that. I'll go and play with it. Because, you know, the nigga, you know, Bun was nice. He always been nice. He was smart. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
we ended up just kicking it, you know what I'm saying, going to John's Seafood. You know, it was crazy because he used to go to the Lost and Found at the schoolhouse and get all the tablets. He'd get a nice backpack and he'd get all the tablets and rip all the pages out. And he'd be like, man, here, there's some tablets for us to write our rhymes in. So, you know, we would go to John's Seafood. You know, the nigga, there was, like, I would pick him up from school. You know, well, my grandmother, before I got a car, she would drop us off to school and pick us up from school. You know, then I got a car, I'd pick him up. Yeah, me and Bun, like all the time. He stayed, you know, that was right up the street from my grandmother's house in the hood on 15. I stayed on 14. I think he stayed on 15. So, you know, we was really, really tight. We go to John's Seafood, sit in there, get popcorn, shrimp, write raps, and, you know, go to the mall, sit in the food court, you know what I'm saying, write raps. You know, and just
they go get that popcorn shrimp.
Yeah, right. That's when that popcorn shrimp that just came out. Sit up there at John's Seafood and
that popcorn shrimp was a fool, yeah.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, we get that popcorn shrimp, man. And yeah, we you know, and then I was drinking 40, smoking weed and all that. Them niggas wasn't doing that. You know what I'm saying?
So by then you had started drinking and smoking.
Yeah, well, I had been like, you know, because my cousins, I had older cousins, and you know, I was in the, you know, the 40. I grew up, I was at the end of the 40-ounce era, and I just kind of, you know, drank 40s, and, you know, we drank 40s and did stuff like that. But them niggas, you know, like Chad was like, nah, Bun, he just was never, you know, he give me some juice or something, give me a grape juice or something, or a Minute Maid or something like that. Them niggas just really was kind of like, on what niggas would say the square thing at first, but I looked around, niggas was gangster after that. So I was like, man, that's cold, you know what I'm saying? Because Chad was, at the beginning, I was telling you, like, when we first met, he was like, yeah, my name MCC. His name was MCC at
Yeah,
first
yeah.
instead of
When I
Pimp C.
first met him, that was the name he had.
Okay, yeah, MCC. And it was just, a crazy situation. We would always hang out. He had a little Celica. He taught me how to drive a stick. It was just, it was crazy, you know what I'm saying, how we, bonded. We was really, really cool, and I guess because, like, when I went to, like, the high school, the middle school, I just kind of took we kind of got close, you know what I'm saying? Because we both was, like I said, I was the new dude, and then he was the dude that was just quiet.
When did
So,
y'all
we
create this the 4BM, and what does that mean?
it was called Four Black Ministers, and that was me, Mitchell Queen, Bun, and Chad. It was like, because me and Bun were the PA militia, and they were the Mission Impossible. So at one point in time, some people say this ain't true, but I was there. But at one point in time, um, Chad was like, "Man, why don't we all just get together and make one group?"
And he
He
was
called
talking
it the
about
Four.
who?
He was talking to us. He just, that was just the thing, because we'd have meetings all the time, because there was a bunch of cats at first, because we were gonna put out, like, they had like like different, like people like Ted and Dave. It was a couple other people. There was just a few people that were around, and we were trying to figure out if we were going to raise money and put somebody out first. That kind of was the whole thing. Like, we were going to get together. It was almost like a label. We was trying to start a label, but we didn't really, consider it that, and we didn't know what we were doing. But we had got to the point where we were gonna, like, just put. If it wasn't us, it was just somebody. We was gonna see who had the best, like, who was the best, and then we was gonna put them out.
Okay, so y'all create the 4BM, you, Pimp, Mitch, and Bun.
Right.
How long does that last? And then when did it turn into UGK?
It lasted for a very short time, and we just I think it might have been, I don't know which one it was. Don't make me lie. But it was out of Mitch and Pimp. They were like, "Man, we need to go and make a group, and call it the Underground Kings.
So,
Change the name, and we're gonna call it Underground Kings."
so who was gonna be a part of Underground King?
It was us four,
So
or if I'm not mistaken,
4BM,
it was them two. What was that?
4BM morphed into Underground King.
Right, yeah, yeah. 4BM was the result. It was like a name change.
Okay. So what goes on then?
We by that time I was probably like in 11th grade, and I was playing football. I started taking football seriously, and then, like I said, every time I tell the story, I let people know that it was not uh, the rap game was not here at all. Rap music was not here at all. It was nothing that was going to be very lucrative. It was nothing promising. Nobody was getting $1 million deals. Nobody was doing concerts. Nobody. There was nothing. So people were like, "Hey man, you play." Like Jay-Z said, you either sell crack rock or have a Biggie said, you either sell crack rock or have a wicked jump shot. That was not an option.
Mm-hmm.
Rap music was not an option. Being a rapper was not an option. So, but like I said, Chad was driven, and then Bun was just kind of smart. He just kind of, I don't even think he thought that, it was going to be that lucrative. He was just able to, like, hold it down, like, do that, and just
Hey, your phone freezing.
kind of, do whatever he wanted to do. Because he actually had an academic scholarship, and he had a theater art scholarship.
Who did?
Do you hear me?
Yeah. Your phone had froze at first. But you said somebody had an academic scholarship and a theater art scholarship?
Yeah, Bun, he had, like, I was thinking, because Bun could have went everywhere. He was kind of like, smart dude. So he could have went to college. I think it was A&M and all kind of stuff. Like, he had a theater arts, and because he was in theater arts and all that.
And Pimp dropped out, right?
Yeah, 11th grade. He wanted to do this. You really want to do this. And his mother was kind of like, Mama was like, Chad was kind of like, it was crazy because he was kind of like he wasn't like an aggressive dude, but he would get loud. He was always Pimp C in a way, like it's being cocky. Like I remember he cussed out Mr. Monroe one time. He just went in all the way in. It was like in 19th grade. Like he was always kind of outspoken in a way. Like he wasn't gonna but he wasn't you wouldn't consider him as no gangster or no boxer or no bully or nothing. But he had his way of, he had his attitude, and he was outspoken.
Okay. So the UGK name comes into place. It's still all four of y'all. So when does it turn into a two-man group?
After graduating, or after kind of like on the Donnie Houston interview, it was a situation where Mitch had already left. It was my senior year of high school. Like I said, the rap game was in no kind of form and fashion, any type of thing that you would kind of like, had any face value or had any value to where like you would, be able to like, I'm going to be a rapper. Now you could do like, even like moms and dads now, they endorse, people going to be rappers, but in no form of fashion, it was that way at all, So, I had to, do what I had to do. And, it was situations where, it was Russ, we met Russ, and, he had, I was at home, a high school student, and, he was booking. That's why Chad dropped out. He was booking, 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock studio times in Houston, in AM. And, it was just, it was no way that, like it could possibly happen for me. I had to, like I said on the interview, it's kind of funny, it sounds corny, but like my mom would say, hey, go back and I got your UGK right here. You better go back and, get ready for school in the morning.
So
or, like I was maybe 250 pounds, doing pretty good playing football. So that was kind of really, that would have been an option also for me. So that would have even been a better option for me doing, the football thing.
So it wasn't your choice to not attend the studio sessions.
No, yeah, I would have. I had, it was so crazy. The last song I remember, I had a verse for Tell Me Something Good.
You had a verse on Tell Me Something Good?
Yeah. That was the last participation. I had a verse on Tell Me Something Good, but I wasn't able to go bring it.
Hey, turn your light on.
All right. Yeah, the verse on Tell Me Something Good, but it didn't, I wasn't able to, go spit it.
They go and do studio sessions in Houston at 12 a.m. and your guardians tell you can't go.
Right, or if you leave here and go, you just don't come back. The mamas, them country people, the mamas do. Hey, look, you gonna go? You can go down and go, but don't come back.
So they made the decision for you to not fool with the group. Right. Okay, see, that's something a lot of people didn't know. They thought you just chose to go play football.
No. I would have. No, I wanted to go. Yeah, I wanted to. I wanted to do it.
So what happened after that?
The studio. They were going to the studio, this and that, and I kind of focused more on football and focused more on high school than just. It was like, oh man, I can't do it, so I'm gonna just have to leave it alone. So I kind of left it alone, and maybe about 6 months later, which was the spring, I believe. Bun came because he would meet. He had already graduated, but the high school thing. After you get cool, you still have homies at high school. So Bun came to the high school, and I remember he had his mama Buick. I don't remember that. She ended up giving him that Buick. And Bun came to the high school, and he had a printout of the album cover, The Southern Way. And he's like, man, look. And I was like, wow. He's like, yeah, we about to do it. So I was like, okay. And then a couple of weeks later, he came with the tape, the actual tape. He gave me a tape, and I was like, wow. We jammed the tape. And then about a week or two later, he was like, man, this dude gonna give us, we got a manager now. This dude gonna give us an album release party. I was like, okay. And he's like, man, a few people gonna be there. Man, we went to Mama House on El Vesta. In El Vesta, man, the whole block was kind of crowded from off of 73 right there. Like, I mean, it was so many people. It was playing. It was like a real album release party.
I
Like,
remember.
and yeah, it was like that was crazy. And then that's when it like really was like, okay. And then Chad told me, man, look, we're finna do a video. And I think the first video was Use Me Up, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And he's like, man, we finna shoot a video. And like, all right, I ain't paying no mind. And it had a budget. It was a pretty big budget because I know they let us use the mall. We closed down Howard's. Yeah, we was in certain jewelry stores and stuff, and the Port Arthur News, they shut down the Port Arthur News. You know, they printed all them little extra copies of the paper, so it must have been a pretty big budget, but we didn't know anything about it. Yeah, we didn't know anything about it. And they had ladies that were powdering our face, like, you know, not putting on makeup, but, you know, just taking the glare off our face. And we was like, man, this is the real deal. And boom, that happened. Came on TV. It was like, wow. And then Chad called me and said, man, we got a show in Lake Charles. And man, I'm telling you, I know up north, like they had like I can't really think, because they did have a few concerts, because me and Bun used to go to concerts, because Scarface used to come to this skate ring in Beaumont, and, you know, certain little concerts like that. But those concerts in them clubs, I you know, here in this area, down south in this demographics, man, UGK actually started that, because at them little concerts in Louisiana, at Strawberries, and, you know, places like that, Lexus and stuff, it was to the point where one Chad called me and told me, man, we got a show in this little club in Lake Charles. Okay. And I was like, a show? He's like, yeah, we gonna rap. He's like, man, you know how the club be, you know, it started about 10, 11 o'clock, you know, and then it's over at 2. At about 12 o'clock, we gonna rap. And I was like, wow. So we went, and, you know, the niggas that didn't rap, that's when niggas start coming and just stand behind stage and all that. Or, you know, they gave me a mic. I even had a mic. You know, because they'll give us like 4 or 5 mics, and we'll go, you know what I'm saying, stay. Just kind of like some Wu-Tang type thing. Huh. You know, but Mitch, I think, was still in college, so he didn't really go. But, you know, I think it'd be 1 or 2 other people, like maybe Ron. I think somebody would come through, but, you know, we'd all have mics, and, you know, backing, you know, people up, you know, they give you a mic or something, or, you know, you'd be on stage or whatever in the back, behind stage or whatever. But it was just really fun, man. Like, and that's how it started. And then every week, man, we got a show in Lafayette. Like, wow. And then we did the Cajun Dome. That was so crazy, man, because the Cajun Dome was like, Too Short was walking around talking on a cell phone. Spice One, that was when he was popular, man. That nigga was in love with Bun. Like, he was just, you know, it was Spice One, Too Short, people like that. And that's when we really met. Like, that's when I really got a taste of it then. Like, just imagine seeing, like, not ever seen any popular, like, Too Short was like since Freaky Tales. You know, Too Short was, you know, with the nigga, like the main nigga, like seeing him actually, because, you know, he was a star already. Okay. Like seeing that, and I was like, wow. And then we was back there with them. Like, and it's so crazy now. Like, I've never, you know, like even with me and you, when we traveled and went to shows, I had never been, like, even now, I've never been like, had to go to a show and stand in the crowd and, you know, be with people in the crowd. I've always been backstage at every show I've ever been to, every club. I've always been in the VIP or backstage, because we started out young doing that. And the only time I would go to clubs is when, like, they had shows, or like when I was in Port Arthur, like, and I was, you know, like a businessman and a young entrepreneur, and I would go in Tiffany's, you know, and there's Big Jack in the building. You know, I go stand in the DJ booth, or, you know, I go sit in a VIP section. So it was never like a practice. That's because even like now, I can't really just go. I don't really just feel like the same way going to, like, okay, maybe like going to like a concert and just buying a ticket and going to the crowd. Like, because of the UGK thing, I've always been like and even with you, like a backstage cat.
a lot of people can't understand that. Like we just move different. So long story short, everything take off. Pimp and Bun, you know what I mean, hold it down and spearhead it. And so, what are you doing while they like really getting it popping? You know what I mean, making a name for themselves.
I'm started a barbershop, you know, uh kind of me and Jay Will, Inner Soul, rest in peace, kind of had got into their organization with him. You know, I had even dropped some songs on one of their albums, but I didn't really, because I wasn't really taking, you know, serious like, maybe like, the rap game. I just always felt like it didn't happen until, maybe like Big Pimpin' or it on the Source magazine or just mention my name. It didn't really grasp me, or like it was really kind of not necessarily too late. It didn't grasp me as like, well, man, this is like a $1 million industry, or this is like superstars or whatever, or these they're actually like superstars, or even like now, like you get on the search engines like YouTube, and when you the few letters, if you type U in a G, it's gonna come up UGK, like
No,
that
you're
type
not
of popularity, or seeing yeah, like seeing Bun on TV almost every day. It wasn't like or like hearing E40 and Too Short. What's up? Like my or listening to like rap songs and favorite like popular rappers are saying mentioning Bun B name or saying Pet Chad quotes and stuff like that. It just it was a process. Like oh, it was time, like 'cause everybody, I knew they were still popular, but it was just growth. It's just always growth. That's even like the homie Bun last month. It was supposed to have been history broken at the rodeo. What I'm saying? It's just amazing. It just never stops.
right.
So yeah, so that's kind of how that went.
So they took off doing their thing, and you started a business, a barbershop.
Right. Yeah. I was wondering, I was like, well, look, I'm gonna go it on. If I can't do this, I'm not gonna be an average worker, like a middle class citizen, or just if I go and get out and get a job, I was like, man, I'm gonna just make myself a big time, like a celebrity in my town, or
Uh,
entrepreneur, like a boss man in my town. I'm gonna do, I couldn't get out, what I'm saying, and fly, like, spread my wings as wide, but I was like, I got this platform here, and I'm gonna take over. I'm gonna change my name. I make a name for myself. I always wanted a nickname. I ended up getting one, and it was just crazy because even that, I know like the name Big Jack came from when I moved here. I mean, not moved here, when I actually just decided to stay here, and I was looking for a barbershop, and they were building prisons out here. And everybody was like, "Man, go get your job in prison." I was like, "Man, that's being a law, man." They're like, "Nah, man, nah, that's just kind of like basically." Um, just you working, you being a career, you like a security guard or something. So, they was like, man, 21, 22. Yeah, man, you make about 15, you make about $1,600 a month. And that was a lot back
that was
then, maybe.
God damn. That was some bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, to us, and I was kind of hustling a little bit too. And I was still kind of
Back
cutting
then, I
down.
guess it was some real money.
Yeah, it was kind of real money. Yeah, yeah. So that's when I had that little apartment out there in Brittany Place and all that. And
Hey, you know what's crazy?
what's that?
I had an apartment out there at the same time.
Yeah, we were both. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So
And
back then, you was working at the prison.
right. Yeah, yeah. I did it for a few months, but I was like, nah, man, that's not me. That's not for me. And I ended up finding my barbershop. But while I was there, I was a real cool cat. And the inmates was like, yeah, man, you cool, you're Big Jack, Big Jack. Because that was what they would call I think that's what they would call somebody that last name was Jackson.
Big Jack.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why I get it from. Like, yo, Big Jack, look out, Big Jack, look out, boss man, look out, Big Jack, Big Jack, Big Jack. So I was like, man, I got me a nickname. So, with the help, my grandmother, rest in peace, she helped me out a lot. She was kind of searching. She knew some real estate. She knew Johnny Order, Johnny Order. She knew
Yeah,
Johnny Order, which is
yeah.
underground real estate cat. Uh, she knew him, and he had a couple of spots, a couple of places, and so she was like, Johnny Order. And I don't know what because when my grandmother died, rest in peace, his name was the first name on the list of visiting. A visitor. He was the first one at my grandmother's funeral. So I don't know. I think like, my grandmother was kind of like down with him before, like he even made it. Like he was, because I was reading them newspaper articles that he wasn't really he blew up all of a sudden. So it
He
was
told,
just something
he
like
told me how he told me how he built it up.
yeah, but it was something like he was getting down, like she put him down with him. I think it was kind of like, it was crazy because he was like, he even told me like he did certain things for me after my grandmother passed, and he's like, man, I owed your grandmother. I
Wow.
owe you. Yeah, he was like, man, I did this because your grandmother. He would look out for me. I had like bigger play. He would give me some of his better homes, like in needling and stuff like that. And he was like, man, I'm gonna look out for you to do this for you. He might charge, $1,100 for a spot, but he might charge me $8.
Yeah,
So
we gonna salute him. He told me one day. I said, how many properties you own? He say, I stopped counting.
I said he owned like a third. They was like, Mr. Owner, they said, man, he owned about a third of Port Arthur.
Yeah, he
That's what.
damn near own. Yeah, but yeah, keep on going. So you get a spot from him and you kick out the barbershop, Big Jacks.
Yeah, I'm gonna call this big. That so was me. Hold on a second.
Yeah, Big Jacks Barbershop was a monumental shop on Gillum Circle in Port Arthur. Everybody went there. You know what I mean? I'm talking about everybody. Um, I always went there to give me a cut, but I realized like when I would go there, I damn near turned into go and get a haircut to having a fish fight around that beat. You know what I mean? It just used to be so many niggas. But yeah, man, go ahead. So tell us about Big Jack's
Hello.
Barbershop. Yeah, we here. Can you hear me?
Yo.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. We can
Yo.
hear you. Huh? Can you hear me? Jack. Jack. Jack, can you hear me? Damn. Hold up. We can hear you. Can you hear me? Jack, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Damn, nigga. Can you hear me? Huh? Can you hear me? Let me see. Hey, go out and come back
Yo.
in. Go out and come back in. Hey, you can hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I'm doing my PA thing for real.
I see. Hey, can you hear me?
Yo.
Hold on, man. Huh? Can you hear me now?
I can't hear you.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know what happened. But let me see. Kick. Big Jack will be removed from the studio if you want. Boom, boom, boom. Nope. Let me see. Add. Okay, let me put the link back in there so we can finish up. Or maybe we should do a part two. Yeah. I think we're gonna do a part two. Let me see what time it is. Oh, it's still early. Damn, I got another two-row guest. Hold up, man. Come on, man. Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
shit.
PAing it for real, boy. I'm finna go get me some of that. Look where I'm at.
Where you at? Hold on, don't say it. Let me see it. Where you at? John Seafood somewhere?
I'm at the one and only.
Hold on. I don't let me see.
Hold on.
Let me see what that is. Nigga, you at the Boudin Hut somewhere? Who barbecue joint is that? Who is that? Who barbecue joint is that? Oh, that nigga John.
Give me some lights, nigga.
Hey, Robbie still around that old?
Huh? Nah, I don't think I just mom in there. Let me go see Wendy. I think it's mom in there. I'm finna.
Man, I want to see his mama.
Got PA for real.
Come
Hey.
on, man.
I'm good. How
Oh,
are
she
you?
in there.
Yeah, his mama.
Hey, let me see her, dog.
Still here. Look.
Damn. Hey there. Hey.
Don't get no PA than that.
Man, I ain't seen you in a long time.
Yeah, I'm doing an interview.
Hey, how's Robbie?
How's Robin?
Robin is okay. He went home.
Hey, tell him Herb said what's up.
What she said?
You tell him Herbert said what's up. Herb said what's up.
Okay.
Good to see you, ma'am. God bless you.
So God bless you. Good to see you.
You too.
How you doing?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, good,
Wow.
good. Let me get a couple links.
Wow.
Let me get two.
And mustard?
Nigga, Jaws
Yes,
barbecue.
No bones?
No, ma'am. No bones. I don't eat
That's
meat
crazy.
anymore, but I'm going to make an exception right now.
Get you some of them
I'm
pork
gonna
bones,
Port
nigga.
We're doing the Port Arthur thing tonight.
Know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it don't get no more PA than that, man. I told you we're gonna do it, man. We're on location. I was trying to find a spot, but we're gonna be
Nah,
on,
you
we're on
good, you
location.
good.
Man.
Hey, look what I'm gonna do. We gonna do a part 2 of this.
Yeah, because I'm
Yeah.
on the grind. I got something I gotta go take care of. I got a few things I gotta take care of, but I just wanted to, do a little something. But yeah, we'll definitely do a part 2, but I'm gonna come out there, man. Like I said, we're gonna hit that Korean.
Nah, we gonna back down here. We're gonna finish up, but yeah, I gotta do this paperwork and shit. And I done laid there, you understand, and got drunk. You know what I mean? Hey,
yeah, I got some moves I gotta make out here too.
Hey, yeah. Hey, that's wild. Did they remodel the joint?
Yeah, she did a little something, man. She did, man. It's nice. She did a little something.
It's crazy.
She made a little outside thing, little gazebo or whatever.
Hey, what
Man,
about
that Port Arthur love, though, man? It's that Port Arthur love for real.
What about that property they had across the street? What it look like?
He just got them cars. I think Robin got. She said he went back home.
He went home?
Yeah.
Oh, that nigga probably living like a king down there.
Yeah, man, he look like a king, bro.
Where they from?
Man, everywhere else. My cousin was telling me, my cousin, the one that do beats out there in Boston, I used to live with. He said he went to Africa, man. He said, man, he had an entourage, man. He said for $60, man. He said, man, he go to the club and man, everybody drinks. He buying whole salmons for $5 and $6.
Hey, where they from?
I'm not sure. No, that's BJ. That's a million from Jordan.
They probably,
I don't know where they
India
from.
somewhere. Huh?
Huh?
India somewhere.
Yeah, I think they Indian. They got that Indian look.
Hey, that nigga, in elementary school, that nigga was driving a car.
See, Robin, I knew Ram. See, Ram, when I took Ram, he took me under his wing when I moved right here because the shop was right up the street.
What Ram at now?
He seen me trying to do my business, and he was like, he was trying to put me in the game. He was like, man, that's a good front at barbershop.
Hey, what Ram at now?
I think he still kind of got he keep him like a warehouse or something, a construction company or something. He over there across from Max. He had that building with Max. You remember young Max that got shot?
Yeah. I remember he had that mechanic shop. That was my nigga.
yeah, because he had this little one across the street right here at first. Oh yeah, Ram and Robin, that was my boys there.
Yeah, damn, I ain't seen. Hey, man, that nigga used to look out for me like a motherfucker.
Oh yeah, both of them.
Hey, but look, we're gonna do a part 2 of this, man. I appreciate you coming through, man.
For sure. We haven't put a little more together, you know what I'm saying? Get some more stuff you want to ask me about, because man, that's just the beginning of the story, actually, man. I can tell you about all kind of stuff, man. Even after the second time.
We can't even do it like what we just did. That was great because we're now about to start on your entrepreneurship. You know what I mean?
But that, when Chad came back after he caught that case, he had the studios and all in the back of my barbershop and all.
Well, look, we're gonna get back on that on part 2.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna talk. We're gonna touch on that, the barbershop and the things, I've seen the change in him, and all kind of stuff like that, man. It's a long story, there's a lot of things that I didn't talk about, and a lot of serious things that happened that I ain't never talked about that I want to, maybe express, rest in peace or whatever. But it was some private, some secrets and some dark stuff that, we might need to, talk about. That's gonna be interesting that people didn't know about.
Hey, we gonna chop it up, man. I appreciate you coming through, and I'll get with you soon, and we'll do it again.
All right, but I'll hit you later on in the morning.
Thank you, dog.
Peace out. Love
All
you.
right. Yeah, man, at the Homie Big Jack, man, we just peeled the surface off, man. Hey, we got good soup in here. We appreciate Taylor Ray. Shout out to Jaws Barbecue, man. That was a throwback right there. And shout out to the homie Willis Mayo, man. We're gonna go on in the broadcast because I done got drunk. Nah. Nah. I think we covered some good ground. And what I want to do is so much more to cover. We're gonna do a part 2 and have my G come back through and talk about his entrepreneurship and the stuff he wanna, you know what I mean, talk about. So hey, I appreciate everybody for coming through. It's your boy Hezeleo. It's the Trillgear.biz. Know what I'm talking about. So y'all be on the lookout for the part 2. I'm out. Long live the Pimp and Mama West. Free young Pimp.